Hello friends. We have points of nature, we have points of suicide, we have points of ideas, we have points of say love, say you have got Donne, John Donne. Now we have points of animals. We can say nature poet, but you cannot say animal poet. That will create problems. Yes. Now, as you can see, Ted Hughes, a modern poet, very famous and genius. His private world of mythology, you can say animal kingdom. He writes about animals. The Hawk in the Rain is a collection. Then you have got the thought fox. Then you have the Jaguar. First we will see that as it is a simple poem. Then we will see what way we can reconstruct it. Reconstruct means we can find additional meaning to what he says. Understand? Okay, let's see now. Let's read. It's only 20 lines, 5 stanzas. Quatrains means 4-line stanza, quatrains. Irregular rhyme, and sometimes you will find internal rhyme. Like here you have got, there's a bang, no? There's a bang of blood in the brain, see? Ba, 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 ba. So bang of blood in the brain. So that is an example for internal rhyme within this line. Okay, let's see. Apes yawn, and adore their flies in the sun. It is simple. The parrots shriek as if they were on fire. As if they were on fire. See, this is subjunctive mode. That is imaginary future vision. As if they are on fire. They are not on fire, but they are as if they are on fire. Or struck like cheap tarts to attract the stroller with the nuts. Fatigued with indolence, tiger and lion lie still as the sun. So you come across, you feel compassion. Your capacity for compassion increases. He made a trip to a zoo, and there he sees these things. What he sees there, he is describing. Ted Hughes. And then continues, the boa constrictor's coil is a fossil. All frozen animals. A kind of freezing feeling that we have. Cage after cage seems empty. Cage after cage seems empty. That means as if there is no animal. Or stings with the sleepers from the breathing straw. That is, stings of sleepers on the straw breathing. So the stings of sleepers breathing from the straw. It might be painted on a nursery wall. So up to that it is, what you find is a status quo or a frozen picture. It's like a painting on a nursery wall. Why is nursery wall? Because he was a writer of children's books also. Ted Hughes was a writer of children's books. So he says this could be painted on a nursery wall so the children could have a kind of experience with these animals. So the first part you see, nursery wall, first two stanzas, what you find is this. When you look at that, your capacity for compassion increases. You feel it's a very sad picture that we see. All the animals you can see now, apes yawn, long vowel yawn, lethargy and laziness, and all the fleas in the sun. All what they have to do is to play with or there must be food for them, the fleas. There will be food, insects, food for them. So they adore. The next comes the shrieking parrots or strutting parrots. Isn't it? The stroller, the people who visit, fatigued with indolence, tiger and lion lie still as a sun. Tiger and lion in their natural habitat, you can imagine, can you go even near them? But now fatigued, indolence, lazy, nothing to do. They will get a ration, and taking the ration they will eat and they will sleep. They accept the situation. That's what you find. Then there is a sudden contrast. That is the beauty of this poem. That is the genius of the poet. Therein lies the genius of the poet. Sudden contrast. And what is that contrast? Third stanza. But who runs like the rust past these arrives at a cage where the crowd stands, stares, mesmerized. All the other they are strolling like that. It's nothing. But a particular stand mesmerized. Stand mesmerized. Then, as a child at a dream, at a jaguar hurrying enraged. See the words? Hurrying enraged. Through prison darkness after the drills of his eyes. Drills. His eyes like an electric drill. Like an electric drill. It is, what does it do? When drill, what does it do? It passes through some hard thing. It is a drill. So his eyes, his looks passes through the darkness of the cage. That is, drills of his eyes. Compare and contrast with this, the yarn. See here, this yarn. Then shriek or strut. And then what else? Fatigued, indolence, tiger, lion. Like fossil, straw, stings of sleepers breathing from the straw. That foul smell, so to say. It might be painted on the day. This is like a painting this. Suddenly there is a change. And that change is what attracts us also. Otherwise the third stanza you continue like that, you will not be able to read it. So here it is. The present darkness, the drills of his eyes. On a short fierce fuse. On a short fierce fuse. What is short fierce fuse? The drill is working on a short fierce fuse. That means anytime it can burst. That is short fierce fuse. On a short fierce fuse. Not in boredom. This is the opposite. Not in boredom. The eye is satisfied to be blind in fire. So angry that he is the angry young man. The archetypal angry young man. That's what we find here. Yes. Blind in fire. With a bang of blood in the brain, deaf the ear. So what happens? The transformation that takes place in the animal. In his rebellion against his captivity. He spins from the bars, but there is no cage to him. He does not accept his situation. It's not a cage for him. He does not accept the situation where he is. He spins from the bars, but there is no cage to him. See this word, spins from the bars. There is no cage to him. He doesn't accept it. He doesn't mind it. And continues, more than to the missionary himself. Missionary. Karl Marx was a visionary. Mahatma Gandhi was a visionary. More than that itself means it cuts across all limits. It cuts across all barriers. His vision cuts across all, passes through all the horizons. That is it. So that is his self. He stride in wildernesses of freedom. Freedom is the point. The world rolls under the long thrust of his heel. The world rolls. He has brought the world under his heels. Like another rebel, like Nelson Mandela, Abraham Lincoln, such great revolutionaries. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, visions, Nehru in jail. He used his life in a prison in a jail, a cell in a jail, not a prison in a jail, but a cell in a jail for creativity. Vision cutting across. For Nehru, there are no bars. He could sitting in his cell all alone. He could see, or he could send out he could radiate, so to say, rather than send out. Radiate his vision from that cell of a person. The radiating vision of a missionary. That's what you find in Nehru. So I told you, when you deconstruct means further reading, rereading. The first reading is a poem about animals in captivity and an animal who is rebelling. But they are deconstructive reading. That is, when you reread the poem, you find this. Rolls under the long thrust of his heel, over the cage floor, the horizons come. So that is, the horizons come. And then compare that with this. The lion, the tiger and the lion lie still as the sun. The other horizons come to him. So as such you will find, your first reading of the poem, definitely the face value, you can say, of what the poem is. It could be even a nursery song for children. Children, when they go to the sea, or zoo, when they visit the sea, what do they see? Most of the animals are indolent, lazy, lethargic. They are yawning always, and they may be playing with the fleas or adoring the fleas. The huge snakes, no movement at all, so it looks like a fossil and all. So children also are not interested in that. But when you see somebody is very active, you stand, stare, mesmerized. And grown-ups also like that. So as such you see, when you read this, the apes yawn and adore their flies in the sun, the parrots shriek as if they were on fire, or struck like cheap tarts to attract the stroller with the nut. Fatigued with indolence, tiger and lion lie still as the sun. The boa constrictor's coil is a fossil. Cage after cage seems empty, or stings of sleepers from the breathing straw. It might be painted on a nursery wall. Very simple. Then continue. Sudden change. Here is the change and the contrast. Two things happen here. There is a turning point, or you can say U-turn. Plus there is a contrast. It involves a contrast. But who runs like the rust past these arrives at a cage where the crowd stands, stares, mesmerized as a child at a dream, the jaguar hurrying, enraged through prison darkness after the drills of his eyes. So that continues. There is a rush. Isn't it? Once again, but who runs like the rust past these arrives at a cage where the crowd stands, stares, mesmerized as a child at a dream, at a jaguar hurrying, enraged through prison darkness after the drills of his eyes. So the sudden appearance of a jaguar, sudden appearance of a something, some object, when you look at or stare at, you are mesmerized. You are hypnotized, so to say, mesmerized. And then on a short, fierce fuse, so drills of his eyes. On a short, fierce fuse. Not in boredom. Eyes satisfied to be blind in fire. By the bang of blood in the brain, deaf the ear. He spins from the bars, but there is no case to him. His eyes like electric drills. The electric drills are working on a short, fierce fuse. Means anytime it can break. Understand? There is a back to the world fight, you can say. It's a back to the world fight. What comes next, we don't know. The suddenness. Yes. And then you have got so dramatic, this. And the spin is from the bars, but there is no case to him. More than to the missionary, he said. Now this could be applied to all the missionaries who are incarcerated or imprisoned or even house arrested. So, more than to the missionary, he said, his stride is wildernesses of freedom. Each one. That is his movement, wildernesses of freedom. The world rolls under the long thrust of his heel. Over the cage for the horizons come. This is the case with all the missionaries of the world. Missionary now, visionaries of the world, as we have seen. So this is actually a rereading of the poem will tell. This is about the archetypal rebels, rebellions. The indomitable will of humans for freedom. The invincible urge for freedom. Indomitable. So these are the words. Indomitable. Indomitable spirit. Invincible. Invincible means cannot be conquered. Indomitable cannot be dominated. So indomitable and invincible spirit and the earth and the craving for the freedom of living beings represented by here by the tiger, the behavior. This is what happens. Bhagat Singh we have in our own time. We have Bhagat Singh. We have great freedom fighters who shouted, no? At the top of their is quit India. So for us, great relevance. See, freedom, the indomitable will. Swaraj is my right. This is what the tiger is also saying. For a visionary like Nehru, he was put in prison, in a cell. Nehru in jail. Maybe you must have studied the lesson. A collection of prose. In a collection of prose, for example, rhythm of life, any of these things. Or reading for pleasure and so on. There are collections like that. So that is Nehru in jail. He is surrounded by all kinds of insects and from there what he can see. When he was in jail, he could see through the window, the visions that he saw through the window. So, wherever you are, you can imprison a visionary, but that place will become the place from where his vision takes wings. The wings on fire. The wings on fire, wings of fire. Anyway, this is what Nehru. Karl Marx, for example. There is visions, and these people, Abraham Lincoln, freedom fighters. What happened to this? Over the cage floor, horizons come. Horizons, they don't go in search of horizons, but horizons come to them. Understand? Relentless fight for freedom. The world rolls. The world rolls. That means, just as we bounce a ball, they bounce the world with their ideas. And simple thing, an idea can change the world. That is a piece of advertisement. Personally. Understand? Refusal to accept the situation, an unjust situation. Here the contrast is between the refusal to accept an unjust situation and acceptance of an unjust situation. Unjust situation. Unjust. So this way you can interpret. Being a deconstructive reading. That reconstruction does not mean we are destroying this, but rereading. Read it again and again, then you will find that. Part of it is capacities for compassion, as I have already told you. There's a contrast and a U-turn. And we are invited to the private mythology of Hughes, one of the great modern poets. Understand? It's a short piece, but it throws up ideas like this. See, what attracts him most is this, the contrast, the sharp cutting contrast, the U-turn. See that acceptance and rebellion which is going on everywhere. Acceptance or rebellion. So that is, in that way, it is archetypal, archetypes. I have given about 12 or 14 lectures on archetypal criticism. Northrop Frye. If you have time, you can go through that. It will be useful for you and for me also. So, that way you can do. The archetypal rebel, that is the Jaguar. Or, you can just consider it as nothing but a nursery song for the children. So that, like, that's one reading. Another reading. Of course, the second reading is, as we said, you can have a third reading. What is the third reading? Compassion for animals. See, to be very frank with you, I don't like to see these animals in birds' cages. I simply cannot suffer it. Because I am thinking, they have their rights. Why are you imprisoning them just for your sadistic pleasure? That's the another reading of that. The sadism of human beings. So in this first two stanzas, it is the sadism of human beings. They imprison and then they go around and then nudge and some this thing, that thing, etc. So there are different levels of reading. Understand? I think that I have made it clear. Otherwise, this is all what I have to say about this point. And internal rhyme you don't find any, see in this case, boa constrictor's coil is a fossil. Is a fossil, that is a simile. Like a fossil, that is a simile you can say. Otherwise, if you ask me in what way this has been, the defamiliarization has taken place in the contrast. First two stanzas and the last three stanzas. So there you have the defamiliarization. And different ideas you can throw up after different readings. Mainly, I told you, archetypal rebel, that's one. Then secondly, the indomitable and invincible will of humans and animals for freedom. Thirdly, the relentless fight for freedom and liberation. Fourth is the capacities for compassion. The first two, toward the animals. Fifth is the sadism of human beings, putting them in cages and enjoying. And fifth is horizons of vision. That is, horizons, horizons come to the cage floor. Horizons come to the cage floor. Visionaries, for example, put them anywhere. Like Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Nelson Mandela, how many years he spent within the bars. But he remained a visionary. His visions, their visions were like electric drills, like eyes of the Jaguar. So you can make different readings like this, and that's we can enjoy. Hope I have done justice to this point. Bye. Have a nice day.